Tell me if this sounds familiar. It's 2 a.m. You are struck by a brilliant idea. A new business, a YouTube channel, a fitness goal, or a new skill. Suddenly, a surge of energy rushes through you. The path looks crystal clear. You feel invincible. In your mind, you are already successful. You can see the finish line, so you start. You buy the domain name. You buy the expensive running shoes. You write the first chapter. The first week is pure magic. You are on fire, but then week 2 hits. The excitement vanishes. The work becomes boring, hard, tedious. Suddenly that brilliant idea feels like a burden, so you stop. You tell yourself, maybe this wasn't for me, and you wait for the next brilliant idea. Welcome to the graveyard of unfinished dreams. But here's the truth, you are not lazy, you are not broken. You are just caught in a biological trap. It's called the dopamine trap, and today we are going to learn how to escape it. Let me introduce you to Leo. Leo is what I call a chronic architect. 3 years ago, Leo decided to learn coding. He watched tutorials for 3 days straight. He felt like a hacker, but when he hit his first major bug, he quit. 2 years ago, Leo decided to start a garden. He bought the best soil, the best seeds. But when he realized he had to water them every single day at 6 a.m., the plants died. Last year it was a podcast. Last month it was a novel. Leo has a closet full of expensive equipment for hobbies he doesn't do. Leo thinks his problem is that he hasn't found his passion yet. He thinks he needs more motivation. But Leo is wrong. His problem isn't a lack of passion. His problem is that he is addicted to the start, but he is allergic to the middle. You see, the start is seductive. The start is where the fantasy lives. But the middle? The middle is where the work lives. And Leo's brain, and likely yours, has been wired to run away from the work. To fix this, we have to understand the chemistry. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure molecule. That is a myth. Dopamine is not about enjoyment. It is about pursuit and craving. When you get a new idea, your brain releases a massive spike of dopamine. This isn't a reward for doing the work. It's nature's way of pushing you to start the work. But here's the trap. As soon as the novelty wears off, usually when the real work begins, that dopamine level drops. It crashes below your baseline. This is what scientists call a reward prediction error. Your brain expected the reward to be easy. It wasn't. So your brain pulls the plug on the motivation. You physically feel resistance. You feel bored. Most people interpret this boredom as a signal to quit. They think, if it's boring, it must be the wrong path. But that is the lie. The drop in dopamine isn't a signal to stop. It is the toll gate you have to pass through to achieve anything of value. In the modern world, this problem is worse than ever. Why? Because we live in an era of cheap dopamine. Why would your brain want to spend 6 months writing a book for a potential reward when it can get a guaranteed hit of dopamine by scrolling on social media for 6 seconds? We have trained our brains to expect instant results. We have lost the ability to endure the gap between the effort and the reward. We have forgotten the ancient virtue of patience. In a world of instant gratification, the ability to stay consistent is the rarest and most valuable asset you can possess. The person who can work when they are bored is the person who becomes unstoppable. So, how do we escape the trap? We cannot rely on motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. We need a system. Here is a 3-step protocol to finish what you start. First, stop waiting to feel like it. Action comes before motivation, not after. Commit to doing the task for just 5 minutes. The just 5 minutes rule. If you want to write for 5 minutes. If you want to exercise, just put on your shoes. Usually the hardest part is the friction of starting. Once you break the static friction, the momentum takes over. Second, embrace the boredom. When things get boring, don't panic. Tell yourself, this is where the competition quits. Boredom is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are doing deep work. Learn to sit with the boredom without reaching for your phone. Train your focus like a muscle. Third, visualize the process, not the result. Stop fantasizing about the finish line. Fantasizing releases dopamine prematurely, tricking your brain into thinking you've already achieved the goal. Instead, fall in love with the daily ritual. Don't focus on writing a bestseller. Focus on writing 500 words today. Do not look at the mountain peak. Look at your feet. Step by step. Finishing what you start is not about talent. It is about character. It is about making a promise to yourself and keeping it. There is a profound peace in finishing things. When you complete a project, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are a creator, not just a consumer. So look at that project you abandoned. The one that's been haunting you. Pick it up again. Not tomorrow. Today. Even for just 10 minutes. Don't let your potential die in the dopamine trap. Break through the boredom. The treasure isn't at the start. It waits for those who endure until the end.